before that I wanted to play cricket for India and win the World Cup, like every second or third Indian boy's dream is, right? I haven't sat in a long
also
time.
get old.
I'm old.
Namaste everyone. Welcome to What's Your Favorite Position? A show where we twist, bend and breathe into our favorite yogic positions and philosophical musings. I'm your host Swati K, guiding you into this wacky world of yoga like never before. Joining us today is the modern yogi Sarvesh Shashi. Yo.
Hi, that was an interesting hello way of greeting, but yes, well, lovely to be here and good to see you finally. I mean, we've spoken a lot when you were in Spain and very happy to finally see you in person.
You know, I think I've been chasing you for these last few years and I get hold of you.
And it's always a pleasure to be supportive of our community, which I think if we don't support each other, who will?
Joining us today is the modern yogi from Thrissur, Sarvesh Shashi. Sarvesh started practicing yoga when he was 6, but it was only when he turned 17 that he became serious about it. By 21, he had set up Sarva, a studio chain which before the pandemic operated out of 92 locations across 32 cities and 2 countries. Today, Diva Yoga, a wellness brand built on the authentic foundations of yoga, has 10 locations in Mumbai and Chennai. He has raised from global investors including Jennifer Lopez, Malaika Arora, Alex Rodriguez, Fireside Ventures and Zumba Fitness.
So Sarvesh, your Google bio says that you played cricket for Tamil Nadu and your family runs a diversified business. So basically it's an empire. What made you enter the business of yoga?
Well, I think like you said, I started yoga when I was 6 years old and I practiced yoga till I was about 17. And at 17, I met my guru. I got into yoga because of cricket. So I was playing cricket and then my parents said that to help you better in your game, to help you balance and focus better, we put you into a yoga class. That's how I got into yoga. And I was playing cricket for the longest time of my life. I have represented Tamil Nadu. But at 21, when I started the company, the option was to choose between cricket and the company. And then I chose the company in due course of time. And I made this into a full-time opportunity because before that I wanted to play cricket for India and win the World Cup, like every second or third Indian boy's dream is, right? And yes, my dad's a first generation entrepreneur. He started the business on his own and today we have multiple companies across different segments and God has been kind is all I can say.
Amazing. Well, that is such an inspiration for, I think for so many men who want to enter the industry as a yoga teacher. And I think it's a huge inspiration for my husband who's such a cricket fan.
Okay.
And someone who needs yoga. Let's get into the practice of the day. So Sarvesh, what are we practicing today?
Well, I thought I usually love the Siddhasana because that's my favorite pose since I was a child. And but today I thought we'll do Bakasana, which is the crow pose, and usually, yeah, arm balancing and also core. A lot of people miss out on core. They focus a lot on either upper body or lower body. But I think fundamentally, if somebody's core is very strong, your day-to-day activities become a lot more convenient and easier to manage because a lot of people end up getting catches, muscle pulls, etc. when they do very small things, as small as something falling down and you're actually bending down to pick it up, you get a catch and you get a pull, etc. I think that's fundamentally because your core is weak and also you're not flexible enough. So today, of course, the crow pose is not a beginner pose, but I think everybody starts somewhere. So even a beginner can start a crow pose, but I think there are different stages that each of us can do, and I thought it's an interesting pose to practice.
So let's get into it.
Absolutely, let's do that. Go. So anyways, we're going to do the Bakasana now, which is also called the crow pose. And I think it's also the foundation of almost all arm balancing poses. So the most important part is your weight should not be on your wrists. A lot of people end up, while doing downward dogs, even downward dogs, they end up putting their weight on their wrist and end up hurting their wrist. So one needs to be very, very careful while doing any of these arm balancing exercises that your weight is in your center of the palm, your fingers, and you're pressing your palms nicely and firmly on the mat, right? And people who are watching this, do it as much as you can. Do not overdo it because it may look slightly fancy, but it comes with practice and it can come for anybody, and both of us are going to be doing it now. So just, you're going to be following me? No, I'll probably, no, that's, it's easy. So I think the first thing is, let's just warm up a little bit. I think we'll do about 10 very slight jumps so that we're warmed up. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because we've not done any warm up before this, so it's important that we sort of warm up. Yeah, so spread your legs slightly, a little more than your shoulders, distance apart. Okay, sit, go down, sit and press your palms on the mat. Your knee should be slightly above your elbows. Press it nicely on your elbows. And then shift your weight forward, activate your core and slowly lift both your legs up. Yeah. Hold here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop your legs down and then slowly come on. So you'll already see a little bit of activation on your core. Usually after your warm up, what you can also do is you can stretch your wrists a little bit. Always remember to always warm up before we start any pose, right? I mean, you know it, but most people watching it, it's important to know that warming up is so critical to avoid any kind of injuries.
I always warm up and I always counter exercise after the pose.
Oh yeah. So this is very important to do your counters as well. So you can do the counter for Bakasana and I'll follow you. Count. The wrist. No, because most of the times, any arm balancing poses, people end up putting a lot of pressure on their wrists. Like I said while we started. So it's very important to ensure that you warm up your wrists and also cool down your wrists as well after the pose.
This is kind of an interesting question because just last week I was a part of this yoga teachers meet, and I think out of all of us, we were 15 of us, there was just one guy. And the statistics in the US say that 85.5% teachers are female yoga teachers and 14.5% only are male yoga teachers. I would assume that's the similar situation in India. What are your thoughts as a male yoga teacher in an industry which is dominated by females?
Well, I don't know about the exact stats in the US, but I can tell you stats with regards to our studios. When we were running the studios before the pandemic, about 65% of all practitioners were women and 35% of all practitioners were male. So what happens, a natural progression is once they get into the way of life, which is called yoga, a lot of people think yoga is a practice on the mat, but it's actually a way of life. When you start benefiting from the way of life, most people want to give it back to the society and stuff, right? So then they end up taking it as a hobby. They do their teacher training courses, they become teachers and so on. So a natural progression of the number of teachers is equal to the number of practitioners as well. So because of the practitioners, the female population is higher, they become automatically wanting to teach too. And why do females end up practicing a lot more is because for women, I think aesthetically, yoga is a lot more better in terms of intensity, impact, comfort. You can do it at home. You can do it with a group of your friends, women, etc. It's not like one shouldn't hit the gym or whatever, but I think yoga as an internal practice becomes a lot more wholesome and holistic for women than men want to do it. It's not like men don't like to do it, men want to do it, but they don't know where to start, which is as early as yesterday. Everybody needs flexibility, right? Everybody. And the funny part is, yesterday I heard a friend of mine saying, hey, for me, yoga is my ultimate dream, because when I did it 7 years ago, I was too impatient and I didn't know where to start. So I'm like, you start yoga to become patient, you start yoga to become flexible. People end up telling me that I don't go for a yoga class because I'm not flexible. It's as good as saying I don't go to the gym because I don't have a six-pack. So you go to a class to become flexible. So I think the reason why there are a lot more female teachers is because there are a lot more female practitioners. And the reason why there are a lot more female practitioners is because the fundamental reason why somebody starts yoga is a lot more. There are a lot more reasons for women to end up starting yoga, because all the reasons that we just said. It's not like men don't need that reasons to start, but men don't realize it as much as a woman does, and hence I think it's a natural progression for the number of teachers also becoming a lot more in the female space. But of course today, I mean, I'm also being very, very careful about being gender neutral in that sense too. So in the most general and normal sense, I think this is the reason, is my reading to it, and I could be right or wrong.
No, it was because of the need that happened, which made me curious, and I thought, okay, I will be meeting Sarvesh and I will have to talk about this. And I think I got a very good answer. To Sarvesh, as we've come to the end of the show, I have to ask you this, and I'm sure you've heard this before. What's your favorite position?
Well, I think my favorite position would be any position that gives me an adrenaline rush. Like, for example, it can be I'm going for skydiving and I'm actually falling from the sky, going for bungee jumping and I'm jumping off the bungee place, or I'm scuba diving and I'm underwater. So I think any position in my life which gives me an adrenaline rush is potentially my favorite position. Certainly a state of meditation in Sukhasana is also something that I love when I'm focusing on my breath and doing my pranayama as well. But I think that's one part of it, but also a big part of me always craves for adrenaline rush and some sense of excitement, and things need to keep me excited all the time, and I'm very, very grateful for life. So just living as it comes.
Sarvesh, thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Thank you for having me.
You really inspired us all with your presence, your thoughts. And I mean, I don't know if you know this, but we need more people like you in the industry to make it more organized, and at the same time encourage a yoga studio culture worldwide, because we need more yoga studios than eating joints, don't we?
Absolutely. I think everything that's good for a human, I think more of it the merrier. I don't think there is anything such as competition, etc. As long as people are practicing and taking care of their physical, mental, emotional and spiritual health, I think the world will be a much more better place to live.
Until next time, stay centered, stay mindful. Namaste.